My name's Jake. I'm the VP here with Manchac Roofing. We are primarily door to door sales. We do a lot of insurance restoration, and so we go through help homeowners through the insurance process and ultimately help them get a new roof through insurance.
Awesome. What was recruiting and building your sales team like before working with us?
Before, it was incredibly difficult to scale. The process looked like, if we had somebody that could onboard, we're sticking them in with a senior sales representative who can help teach them, kind of do the ride along method, but logistically very difficult in taking away from the time of that senior guy for a representative that may or may not make it.
Yeah, yeah. And so were you kind of like managing ads and doing interviews and like were you wasting a lot of time there? Was it somebody else corporately or were you guys just so busy you weren't recruiting too much?
Yeah, right. It was a bottleneck issue. We get too bogged down where we can't recruit, we can't scale. So yeah, so right, everything was kind of stuck on, okay, we bring somebody in and all of our manpower is stuck training just a few people.
Yeah.
We can't bring new ones in.
Yeah. And you kind of solved two high level issues with us, right? There was some, obviously the recruiting piece, which is what we're most known for, but you also were able to dial in your new hire training, automate a lot of that. So tell us about how you fixed some onboarding processes with the blueprint and the university and these kind of things.
Perfect. Yeah. So those two pieces are fundamental to our new process and being successful at recruiting at scale, right? And being able to bring in that new rep. So at a high level, when we bring somebody in, we're immediately implementing that success blueprint over that first 30 days. And they're moving through that university 4 times in that first 30 days, which allows us to decrease the amount of time that our leadership is spending with them, and it allows them to learn at their own pace and as much as they want to take on. So there's a big switch there. So it's changed everything for the recruiting aspect of what we're doing. That whole process is what's allowing us to scale.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, okay, I realize that the recruiting of the people, once we plug into your service, that's actually really simple. It's like a big part of our issue before was the onboarding and the management of the people. We've been able to automate that, and now we can actually consistently bring on reps and support them properly and these kind of things. I know you said before, it's like you're almost saving, a full-time person weekly from wasting time on new hire training. So that would be roughly, and you have it's a roofing restoration storm job. So there's a lot of like technical roofing things to learn. And, it's a bigger learning curve than the average sales position, but that means you're saving a leader, a sales trainer, a manager, whoever it is, on average 160 hours per month because of the online training, 40 hours per week, which is a game changer. What has recruiting been like? I know you recruited for 4 weeks straight and you paused things. So what was that first month of recruiting like for you?
Yeah, first month of recruiting was great. It took a little bit of time for things to get oriented right within Indeed, and me getting my process dialed in as that recruiter and running into that process. After the first week, the following 3 weeks is where things really ramped up and took off. We had a lot more people showing up, a ton of people showing up to those calls. And then filling out our form to jump into that final one-on-one interview. So from there, we recruited about 16 in that final 3 weeks, and that's translated to 8 that are still with us 4 weeks later. Those people are into their second month now.
Awesome. And those 8 people, what kind of you guys look at things in terms of insurance claims and how many claims have they put in? How many sales?
Yeah. So total new contracts from our new people is about 40 contracts last month.
40 contracts, and that's about a 50% installation rate, $20,000 average roof. So roughly 400K in net revenue from 1 month of recruiting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, obviously not everybody's going to stick forever, but if you just kind of assume that into the future, that's an extra 5 million annual revenue from 1 month of recruiting. But that's because you're the man and you're doing an awesome job. That's killer. Awesome job, man. The what has exceeded your expectations since working with us, if anything at all?
I feel like the entire process has exceeded expectations. I don't think there's just one specific item that has exceeded expectations. I didn't go into this thinking that it would simplify everything so much, to the point where it could be scalable. So it's um, all of it has, right? Like the training that you guys provide to us as far as what we need to implement and going through those different universities.
Mhm.
It's in getting that grand picture of how all of these pieces fit together between group interviews and final interviews and recruiting and putting in our university and training pieces, right? And then bringing all these pieces together
Mhm.
is what was the game changer. But it's the overarching picture. It's all of the systems and processes that I would allot to our success that we've had.
Yeah, love it. Are you guys thinking about the future a little bit different in terms of growing now?
We definitely are. So it's in terms of growing, right? Like now I have a scalable model. I could not scale what we were doing before.
Yeah.
Now I can bring new reps in. We can train them quickly, get them into onboarding, get them through that ramp up period, and um, and continue doing that, right? Because this in our industry, it's very difficult to recruit and bring new people in prior to this. Now that we've got a system and a process in place to do that, sky's the limit.
Love it. Love it. Last question. What would you tell a company that's on the fence of working with us?
100% worth it. We had a lot of doubt initially, but it was reinforced with the research. I mean, it's very simple, right? You can go back through and just look at the testimonials that you guys have.
Yeah.
And that's what solidified it. That you can sell it to me, another sales rep could sell it to me, but seeing those actual testimonials like this is ultimately what helped us pull that trigger. So 100% worth it. Dive in and soak up the information, and it's worthwhile.
Awesome, Jake. Well, that's it, my friend. Thank you so much for your time today.
Awesome. No problem. Thank you.